Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is Thursday and it's lunchtime, and here we are together again. I tell you, if it weren't for modern technology, we would not be able to continue to connect. So thank God for modern technology. If you're on there today, if you've tuned in, just shoot me a hello from wherever you are and just say hello and tell us your name will pop up, but just shoot us a hello so we know you're here. It's lunchtime on Thursday. And I always ask this question: what are you eating? So let me tell you what I've had, which you can probably guess because last week was Thanksgiving. So today for lunch, I had a few more leftovers before I cleaned out the refrigerator, and it's time to move on toward Christmas. All right. So I had literally crab cake, some macaroni and cheese that my daughter made, yum, and some greens. That's what I had for lunch. What are you having for lunch today? Drop us a note and tell us. But welcome back. It is Thursday. It's time for some good news. So, welcome to the podcast. So, the pandemic. Yeah, it's still here. It's interesting when we were in the month of March, I remember saying to myself, oh, this will be here for a few weeks and we'll be back to normal. But it's been more than a few weeks and things are not normal. They're anything but normal. And so a pandemic we know is a disease, or it's a disease that's prevalent over a whole country or the world. And certainly this one lives up to its true definition because the entire world has been impacted by the pandemic. This pandemic has shut down schools, closed church doors, but not church services, closed office buildings. Anyone working from home, tell us who you work for and to let us know if you're working from home. So it's closed down office buildings, it's overwhelmed hospitals. Hospitals, man, we have to really keep those frontline workers in prayer because they're dealing with this thing every day. And it's crowded emergency rooms. It has caused a great loss of loved ones. So it's lived up to its name. It is a prevalent disease over the whole world. But it's also brought families closer. How many of you have gotten more family time? Drop us a line if this has given you more family time. It's caused us to have more downtime. And the good thing about having more downtime is you get to catch your breath, but you get to think and you get to reflect on just how good God is and all the things that are taking place in your life. Anyone know what I'm talking about? If you can relate, just type relate. Just shout at us relate. But it's caused us to have more downtime and it's aided us in our focus because now we know what's important and we certainly know what's not. Now we know what we need. We know what we can live without and do without. It's also shut down our overspending. For many of us, we're not able to get out and shop like we used to. It's cut down on some overspending and caused us to have and save more money. And it's opened some opportunities that we never saw coming or may not have come upon otherwise. So I don't like the loss of life. I don't like the suffering. I don't like, the pain that has put people through. But there's always two sides to every story. There's always one way to look at it and one way that things are taking place. But there's always that other side. You know what I mean? And so I don't like the loss of life. I don't like the loss of income and security. And I don't like the suffering that people have experienced. But I do appreciate the downtime because I don't think I've rested this much in my life. I appreciate the stillness and the opportunities to just get alone with God and just be still, hear his voice. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate also the doors that God continues to open, even in the midst of the pandemic. My topic today is simply this: prospering in the pandemic. I just want to talk to you a little bit about that today. Is anyone finding that the pandemic has also created, it has created lots of problems, but has it created any solutions for you? Are there things that have happened in the pandemic that you know would not have happened outside of this kind of time period? So I do appreciate the stillness. This noisome pestilence has not stopped and it has not gone away, but it has not stopped God from moving and from doing what he has promised. And there were some things that I was believing God for this year that for a minute there I thought, oh well, maybe I'll just push them off till 2021. But not so, because the pandemic can't stop God. And so can I share some good news? Anyone want to hear some good news? Are you up for that today? There's a lot of sad stuff floating, but I want to take a moment and just share some good news. Can I share some good news with you? Okay, so three things I want to share with you that I think will bless your faith and help increase your faith, as they have definitely increased mine. Number one, sometimes when you're trusting God for something, it doesn't come as quickly as you had hoped. You find out real quick that God's timing and our timing are definitely different. For instance, there was a 5-year journey to us moving into the O Center. And those who don't know our testimony, the O Center was formerly Soul Plaza at Security Square Mall. That is now the O Center, and O stands for Outreach, Worship, and Education. And the O Center is, our church is now located there, but it's so much more than just the church. It's literally a community center where people can come and get various needs met, gather, enjoy family, etc. And so that was a 5-year journey. Now, here's the best part. Oftentimes when God shows you something, he doesn't show you all of it. You get a glimpse. That glimpse gives you hope and stirs you up and stirs up your faith so that you begin to pursue it. What he had in store once we got there, he didn't show me all of that. So that's what I came to share today. That's why I'm talking about prospering in a pandemic. Anyone know what I mean? All right. So watch this. 2 different beautiful things are going on. Besides the fact that our church is there, and that before the pandemic, we had wonderful worship there, and we will return someday soon to have wonderful worship. But in the meantime, the Baltimore County Health Department, that was formerly located at the Woodlawn Library, is moving to the O Center. They will be in fully by next June, which is 6 months away. That's such a quick time period. But they'll be located on the first floor of the O Center, and they're bringing all of the services that they provide to the community to the O Center. They're also bringing the WIC program that was located somewhere else in the county, and people had to go here for one thing and there for another. They'll be able to come under that one roof and get all those needs met. That's good news. And we also have a bus stop right on the parking lot across from the movie theater and across from us. So people will have access on public transportation to get there, to get their needs met. So that's exciting. We're happy about that. The county executive is coming next week. We're going to do a press conference and share it with the community. That's wonderful. And I'm excited about that. That was a 3-year process. But most recently, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm just sharing this to show you that even in a pandemic, God is still keeping his word. If you know what I mean, just type, yes, I do. He's still keeping his word. Because watch this. A few weeks ago, I got a phone call from the director of health for the county, for Baltimore County. And he said, we need an area on the west side to make sure we have a place for the homeless when it gets cold outside, when temperatures are adverse. We need somewhere to take homeless people where we can feed them, they can get a good night's sleep, etc. And so, guess where that's now going to be? You guessed it. You guessed it. So now the O Center is also the freezing weather shelter for the west side of Baltimore County. I'm so excited about that because when we talk about giving back what we owe, we're talking about providing people with the resources they need. And certainly, even though homelessness is a disgrace to our country, no one, thank you, Alicia. She said, amazing. No one should have to live like that in the land of the free and the home of the brave, where the deer and the antelope roam. People should all have housing. But the reality is, everyone doesn't. And so now the area on our second floor, which used to be the former spa, is going to be a freezing weather shelter. So we've been spending time over the last week getting it nice, getting it ready. There'll be hot meals served there, clean, comfortable cots to sleep on for the night, activities. And I'm probably going to have some. There's Lakeisha. I knew you were here, Lakeisha. Hi. Lakeisha comes every week. I tell you, I might be encouraging you, Lakeisha, but you encourage me. You show up every week, and I so appreciate it. But so now, not only that, some members of my church will be able to come in and sing and minister a word of encouragement. It's a great partnership. And the thing is, we may not have all gotten to America in the same boat, right? We may not have all come over. Some came on the Mayflower, some were forced. We may not have all arrived in the same ship, but we're all in the same boat now. We need each other now more than ever before. And so I'm really, really excited. I'm going to do a live from there either later this afternoon or tomorrow. I'm going to walk through and just share that we are now a freezing weather shelter for the west side of Baltimore County. So keep in mind, when we moved in there, all I could think about was the church is going to be there. But God had some other plans. And let me encourage you. God doesn't always show you exactly what he's doing. He just asks you to move out. He just needs a vessel to help him in what he's trying to get accomplished. And when you help him get his desires met, guess what happens? You got it. You end up getting your desires met. He gives you the desires of your heart. God called Abraham his friend because Abraham believed him and he trusted him. And so I want to be known as a friend of God. How about you? I want God to say, Karen is a friend of mine. I want him to feel that way about my life. I want him to say, if I need to get something done, Karen will allow me to be who I am through her life. That's what I want. Hey, Chrissy Huntley. So I really want God to be able to say that about me. And so I just wanted to stop here for a moment today and encourage you. Don't stop your dreams because of the pandemic. COVID-19 is something else, but it's not better than God. You better know and understand that. And listen, those dreams you had in December 2019, don't put them on the shelf and don't hide them. You can still get them done. Why? Because God is real, man. He is so faithful. I'm watching him filling up the first floor of the O Center because, listen, watch this. God's will is God's bill. Oh my God, I hope you caught that. God's will, it's God's bill. And so never feel like there's anything in life, I mean anything, that can stop the plan that God has for you. The only person that can do that is you. The devil can't even do it. He might cause delays, but he cannot stop it. You and I are the only ones that have the power to stop what God has for us. So I came to stop by today to encourage somebody. You can prosper in the pandemic. Would you just tell us, if you wouldn't mind sharing some ways that you've been getting blessed in the pandemic? Because I know that I'm not the only testimony this afternoon. I know that I'm not the only one that can say God did what he said he was going to do anyway. So whatever God has promised you, and wherever you are, whatever you're believing for, whatever you're standing in faith about, I say this to you from Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. Are we in the evil day? And having done all to stand, stand. Having done all you can, when you've done all that you can do, when you've prayed, fasted, studied your word, lived right, when you've done everything you know to do, tithed, served, then just stand and behold the salvation of the Lord. God is going to show up, and he's going to show up big. God has a way, man. He has a way of showing up big. He has a way of showing up to the point that you know it's him. You can't even put it anywhere else. You have to honestly just say, now I know that was God. So I'm encouraging you today. God is faithful and he's still moving. I am so excited that on next Tuesday, you can look for it. It'll be in the news next Tuesday. The county executive and I will announce all of the initiatives that are taking place in the O Center in partnership with Baltimore County. It's just going to be so exciting. Now, just because we're located in the county doesn't mean that people who live in the city don't have access. This is not a Woodlawn thing. This is not just a Baltimore County thing. The O Center is a Baltimore City, Maryland area thing. So wherever you live, come be a part. We have youth programs that are going to be starting. And in those youth programs, we're going to have, there's a Black Engineer Corps that's going to come and teach the kids robotics, and they're going to compete on a national level. We also have SAT programs, all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. And by the way, if you want to sew into all of this, we absolutely will take your contributions, right? I know it was Giving Tuesday, but I'm calling today Giving Thursday. But our O Center is amazing. You can, if we can get that information on the screen for where to give, we would love for you to sew into the O Center, because when I tell you the community is going to be blessed, they're going to be blessed by this incredible undertaking. And so I hope, there it is, www.theocenter.com. Click on that link and you can make donations of any size. And we appreciate that, because we have a lot of work to do in our community and we're going to get it done. And I know that God leans on the hearts of people like yourself and myself. I've already put thousands of dollars in there, and we'll put thousands more, because I believe wholeheartedly in this effort. Vaughn and Bridget Green are two of our biggest supporters, and there are others who have been, Senator Dolores Kelly and others have written checks personally to be a blessing to the center, because it is what the community needs. And I'm just so excited. I think I'm going to get up from here and ride down there now. I just think that, yeah, I'm feeling strong about that. And just take a look at the construction work that they've done in the former spa area to bring it up to par, so that we can bless and serve the homeless community and love on them, and watch this, and leave them with their dignity. No one asks to be homeless. No judgment here. We just want to meet people at the point of their need and let them know somebody cares about you. God does, and we do. So y'all have a great rest of the day. It's been a wonderful Thursday with you as always. My time is up and I've enjoyed you tremendously. I hope to see you soon. God's richest blessings upon you. And don't forget, whatever God's promised you, don't put it down. Not now. You're too close.